Breaking up and getting back together again, that's something that happens a lot, especially with online dating. You know, you might move on quickly these days, but then you might come back to this other person. How damaging can that be?
If all you want is just a friend, like, you know, yes, we were together, we didn't work out, but you know what? There was something about each other that we really liked. So, you know, if we want to sort of like hang out when there's nobody else to hang out with, you know, be our plus one for each other, fine. But if it's always like coming together and then that whole big turmoil thing happening, nothing's changed, breaking up, coming back together, that turmoil happening again, it's really destructive. And so, and again, if you want to sort of overcome any of that, you really need to actually do the work on yourself. You know, you really need to do some personal development, finding out what those triggers are, finding out how to deal with them, you know, healing the old childhood wounds, which is where a lot of that stuff comes from, you know. We're sort of making decisions from our 5-year-old child unconsciously. We're not even aware of this, but we're actually making those decisions from, you know, the inner child, and then, you know, sort of and making those decisions for our adult, and that really shouldn't be happening. It's about, you know, healing yourself, healing whatever it is about yourself in order to go into a relationship as one whole person, another whole person, and as Adam said before, enriching each other's lives, make that you know, that whole synergy of coming together and not sort of like dragging each other down, because that when you've got all this stuff going on and all of you know, your wounds are triggered from your childhood, it's actually going to come out in a relationship, because relationships are the closest thing that you can actually have. You are so vulnerable. You are naked in front of each other. You have sex in front of, you know, with each other. You're living with each other. So that can actually trigger a whole lot of wounds. So in fact, relationships, if you're willing to do the work, are a really great vehicle for doing some healing and to move forward from there. The only thing is, though, that a lot of people don't know about how to do that. They don't even know to do it. It's like being that, you know, you don't know what you don't know. So they blame their partner, or, you know, they repeat the patterns over again. And so, yeah, if it's continually tumultuous, back together, and, you know, back it away, then if you're not going to do anything about it, you're better off apart.
Well, I like what you said about, you know, if you're friends and you're just going to be each other's buddy and plus one, that it's okay. But a lot of people keep falling into that makeup sex, you know, that hot makeup sex. You're not even going to think about what the problem was anymore. You're just going to have sex and it feels great and you're back together again. But that's not really healing anything, is it?
No, it isn't. It's having a great time in the moment, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, I'm telling you now. However, you know, if it's just going to be destructive from then on, it's not worth it. It really isn't. It's time to do some work on yourself by seeing a coach or going to a counsellor or doing something, you know, and getting out of your own way so that you can actually improve, mostly with the relationship with yourself. It's about the relationship with yourself, because if you love yourself and you honour yourself, and when you go into a relationship where they are the same, then it can only be enhancing. And it's about taking responsibility for yourself in a relationship as well. And that's the way that my husband and I live every day. I'm not saying it's perfect, because we do get triggered, of course. But you know what? We know that they're our triggers. It's not like your fault for this or your fault for that. We don't do that. You know, we've sort of learned so much, we've grown so much. We don't do that. And it's when you're doing that, then you need to actually take a step back and have a look at yourself. And as I always say to my clients, so it's like fall in love with yourself first.